been inaccessible to our community for such a long time, accessible, you know, of course free of charge. You know, that's what we're mostly interested in, you know, and dissemination of information is extremely powerful, but yet it still remains in the hands of the people to apply that into their life.
That's right.
To receive the intensive lifestyle change, you know. So that's why we do what we do according to these programs. And we've been doing this for over a year, you know, as far as educating the people. We are a 501c3 based tax exempt organization. We've been doing a lot of work in Dade County and Broward County as far as feeding the homeless, alleviating hunger, working with a lot of impoverished communities, and striving to do more than educate the people, but kind of level the playing field, you know. So as we're about to get started, this particular program today is about African meditation techniques. And as you all are well aware of, it has various techniques throughout the continent of Africa. We're talking north, east, west, and south. Many people think and have the belief system that prayer and meditation are one and the same, but this is incorrect. According to the definition in the Feth and the Gast, prayer is the talking of man to the Most High, one Supreme Being. That is when prayer, and prayer is for the purpose of praise. Most people pray, and they believe, well, they're going to ask God, or the Supreme Being, whatever you desire to call him, because he's known by many different names throughout the 72 nations. But at the same time, they feel and they live off a belief system, like we've all been taught, that you pray, and as you pray, you ask God not just for your blessings and the blessings of your family and loved ones, but for specific items that you may feel are a necessity in your life, where this is actually the incorrect formula of prayer. Prayer is for the sole purpose of praise. Meditation is different to prayer. Meditation is the talking of the Most High Supreme God to man. So this is where the difference comes in. African meditation techniques, however, they originate from a wide variety of sources, including indigenous beliefs, indigenous systems throughout the tribes and countries of Africa. These different meditation techniques are focused on the attainment of divinity within oneself and true selfhood through an active focus and determined connection with the divine forces that exist both inside and outside of yourself. That goes back to the teachings of Imhotep that are written on the temples of Luxor. Man, woman, know yourself. Know yourself. So it directs us to our micro purpose and our macro purpose, because we have a micro and a macro with everything. Our micro purpose is to know your values, be cordial, and have integrity. Basically how we relate to one another, to stay in harmony with one another. Our macro purpose is the ultimate goal, knowing yourself. So when we look at this definition of African meditation techniques, again it shows you it's about the attainment of divinity that you can ascribe to such. Now there's often a misconception that in meditation you're supposed to try to stop thinking altogether. This is untrue and extremely unrealistic. That's almost impossible to do, to stop thinking altogether. The aim of meditation is not to empty your minds of thoughts, but to allow those thoughts instead to be free, like clouds that pass through the sky as you see them, and be able to watch those thoughts pass by and those emotions and those experiences in your life without floating away with them or becoming captured by them. But the aim of meditation is to watch these and to practice watching them. And the goal is to develop a well-rounded, historically centered, and spiritually purposed self. I'll repeat that again. The goal and the aim of meditation is to develop a well-rounded, historically centered, and spiritually purposed self. So meditation teaches us how to have a different relationship with our thoughts, with our emotions, especially with one another. Now, there is no such thing as the best type of meditation. You're going to hear different things out there on the internet and, on the television, etc., etc. But there is no such thing as the best type of meditation, and we're not going to create that kind of controversy today. But there is, however, a right and a wrong way to meditate and to use meditation. So we're going to discuss that in order to get the benefit from any type of meditation that they have out there. And they have various types. They have glorious light meditation, asset meditation, kemetic meditation, and dozens and hundreds of other techniques that we can name. But the goal of meditation, as well as whether you're using a proper technique and the type of meditation that you need to pursue, is where you get your benefit. Most of these require that you have the same outcome. You find a quiet, comfortable, safe environment in which you are able to be seated or lie down, be completely still your mind, and just allow your thoughts to pass. That is what the requirement is of most of the different meditation techniques, that you find a quiet place where you can be in solace. Now, you can enhance these different meditation techniques and these different rituals by lighting incense, scented candles, playing tribal music, drums, different things that evoke the spirit of yourself, of your ancestors, of various African cultures. Remember, meditation, this is about honoring yourself, honoring your ancestors, and the divine. And that's by being respectful and honest during your meditative ritual. So again, we have stated the difference between prayer and meditation, and we have to understand that the aim of meditation and the goal of meditation is to develop a well-rounded, historically centered, and purposed self. Spiritually purposed self. That's the whole goal for everything, because that's why we tap onto traditional African holistic health and wellness, because nothing can be done in peace. You can't focus on the body without focusing on the mind and the spirit. If you leave one part undone, then you're leaving yourself undone. It doesn't make sense to eat raw foods and to juice, but yet at the same time, you're not mentally and spiritually enlightened as well. It goes hand in hand. So that is what holistic means. When we are tapping into holistic, you're tapping into mind, body, and spirit. Upliftment and enlightenment and empowerment of mind, body, and spirit. As far as these different meditation techniques, now we're going to go into a series of explanation of past to present. Brother Rike is going to touch on that. Later on, we're going to have Brother Torch come in, and he's going to touch on certain essences in kemetic meditation, and we're going to go a little deeper into that. So without further ado, we're going to see Brother Rike ready.
I'm always ready.
Always ready. He's always ready to go. So we're going to have Brother Rike come up here, more affectionately known as Baba Kofi, and he's going to go in depth with some of the African meditation techniques. My name is Priest Dada. This is the traditional African health and wellness. Once again, welcome.
See, there's no such thing as being tardy. But I needed to get here on time. And the idea of speaking before my family kind of caused me a little bit of anxiety. I'm relaxed, says I, but I'm anxious. So I went into the house. I came out of the house, and then I went back into the house. And then I came, and I did that 4 times. I'm picking up things I don't even need. Because I want this to be the best in front of my family. And of course, I then actually, the last time I went and I said, why are you doing this? Just get out of the house. That's when I came back into myself, because before that, the ego was actually telling me there's a good, there's a bad, there's a this, there's a that, and it was actually playing havoc with me until I came to my senses and say, just go out of the house. Whatever is left, whatever is... And that was all.
You know what libation is? We're going to go straight into it, and then we'll see. In pouring libation this afternoon, we call upon the ancestors. We call upon the mothers of our mothers, the fathers of our fathers. We call upon Mother, Father, God. We give thanks for the family. We give thanks for the breath. We give thanks for our being, and we give thanks for all who made it possible for us to have this session this afternoon. May we therefore go forward as a family, recognizing that we have been passed the baton of succession. We have been given the responsibility to teach the family. We have been given the responsibility to be the example we want to see. We are strong. We are more than we think we are. And creators, ancestors, we give thanks to you for helping us to have traveled this far and be the persons we are. We ask that we continue to grow, that we continue to build, that we recognize our strength, that we recognize our strengths, that we recognize our divinity, as most of us, unfortunately, have no idea who we truly are. We give thanks, and we ask that as we go forward this afternoon, we will do so with love, with harmony, with diligence, and with confidence. We give thanks once more for the knowledge that the children are our future. And as looking forward to the children, the information we have, that we gather, that we learn, the wisdom that we've gathered, that we are supposed to share it with them, so that they may take on the responsibility of going forward in a positive sort of way. We give thanks, and we ask that as we go forward, we recognize our responsibility as people of African descent to reclaim our African consciousness, to reclaim our African religions, to reclaim our African homeland, to reclaim our African consciousness. May we therefore recognize that in the end, we are one. And with that we say, Ashe, 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 Ashe. Giving thanks. Some people say we teach meditation. And although I practice facilitating meditation, I don't think I can teach anybody meditation. My reason for saying that is because each and every one of us meditate. We all meditate. What do I mean by that? Here's a basic, simple example. I am strong. I am a teacher. Now, what was that all about? That is a basic form of meditation. What do I mean? What I mean is that the gaps between each word is where meditation resides. The gap between each word is where meditation, or in truth, where you reside. Because in truth, that was where you were focused. What was coming next? What was the next word going to be? You were paying attention to the gap. You see, someone once said, and I use this quite a lot, man, know thyself. And because none of us, and I throw me inside the pot there,
none of us actually know ourselves. We allow the ego to control our existence. We do crazy stuff. We run around and we tell ourselves that, somebody knows better than we do how to run our lives. Somebody actually tells us that you gotta be out of the house to be in school by 6:30, and guess what? We're there! 6:30 in the morning. I didn't get into sleep, but I'm there. Did you know that most high school students are suffering from school deprivation? Again, some research. Most high school students are suffering from school deprivation. Last week, by the time we got to Friday, one student said to me, "Sir, I gotta call my father." "What's the matter? Are you sick?" "No, but I just need to get some sleep." It's the first week. "Why?" "I mean, this is gonna go on through the year. You're gonna actually have to get some adjustment to your routine." She says, "Well, I get home, I leave here at 1:30, I get home by 2:15. I gotta be in work by 3:30, and I don't get home until 10. That's a full day's work. A school student. Admittedly, I'm teaching seniors at the moment. But she gets to work at 3 odd and she gets home for 10. Or she finishes at 10. And she does a full day in school. And she's got to be in school by 6:30 in the morning. How do we do that? And we do that to those we love. We do that to our own family. This week she was a little bit better because I think she had to throw in the job or something because she has to graduate and this is her final year in school. Having spent 11 years plus, she's now at this point and the challenge is, I have to graduate. And so, as I say, most of our students, high school students, all over the country, suffer from sleep deprivation because they never get enough sleep. Because a lot of them are working, and even if they're not working, they're not going to bed early enough, and they have to wake up in order to get that bus to get to school. So, the world in which we live is a crazy one. It's a crazy one, and it demands that we do certain things. In fact, one of the questions I was going to ask you is, who is the host of your mind? You see, the guests will come, and you can either permit them to stay, or you can actually say, it's time for you to leave, or they will say, it's time for me to go. And that's meditation again. The thoughts will come. You can't stop them. It's your ability to slide them across. In fact, one of the techniques we'll talk about, and you'll notice I haven't said Africa once so far. I'm conscious of that, but it's all right, we'll get there. One of the techniques that I teach when I facilitate meditation is, if you're sitting there and thoughts are coming, just visualize them. You simply slide them across, like slides. From left to right. From left to right. And they will just pass on. You don't want them to stay. You're not going to focus on them. You're not going to give them a home. Left to right. You slide the slides across. So, what is meditation? And why do we need to do it? All that we are is the breath. And meditation has to do with the breath. It has to do with an understanding that if I'm sitting quietly and peacefully and actually in the right place, the only thing that should be moving would be my stomach as I breathe in. It expands, and of course contracts as I breathe out. Now, this should be quite straightforward, but because most of us don't breathe properly, we have this little problem. All right, first thing I'm going to ask you to do, just for a couple of moments, I'm going to ask you to sit still, sit straight, sit up straight. You're basically going to attempt for about a couple of minutes to observe the breath. You're looking at about 2-3 inches about from your nose. You're looking at the breath. You're observing the breath. No other responsibility. As you breathe in, you feel the sensation within. As you breathe out, you feel the sensation as different cells within your body exhale, get rid of the oxygen, and of course carbon dioxide. Okay, just for a couple of minutes, breathe normally, but observe the breath, nothing else. If you are observing the breath, you cannot think of anything. All right? Because you're giving your attention, your thoughts, your consciousness to the breath. You may feel your stomach expand and contract, but there's no thought. We have this simple facility. The thought, the breath rather, is everything. The breath actually gives us the wherewithal to be able to do just about anything. If I want to lift up this table, whether I'm conscious of it or not, I breathe in and I go and I lift it. If I'm going to actually lift up a heavy weight, I go and I lift it.
That's right.
So the breath is there. Even if I go to the bathroom, if I'm not breathing properly, I have difficulty. So the breath is in the center of all of these, but we don't observe it. We're going to do a meditation later on where I'm going to ask you to kind of go around your body, scan your body. Look at the different aspects or different parts of your body, different cells, etc. And scan your body. All right, again, as we meditate, we come back to the breath and the stomach expanding, contracting, feeling the energy as we inhale, exhale. Now, I know that I was asked to speak on African meditation, and yet I open up with Buddha and Zen. Why am I doing that when I'm supposed to talk African? The truth is, all of this is African. Mm-hmm. But let me go a little bit beyond this. We have commercialized yoga and meditation in the West to the extent that there are so many different forms of meditation and yoga, and I do this and I do that, and I'm this school and I'm that school, and there are just 2 types of yoga, meditation. There are 2 types of meditation. You either have mindfulness meditation or you have concentration meditation. There's a difference. Concentration meditation is where you're asked to focus on something for a period of time. And you will feel bliss. You will feel wonderful as you focus on that thing over the period of time, whether it be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. You will feel that. But when you finish, it will go. Mindfulness meditation is different in as much as what we're doing or what we are aiming to do is to clear the consciousness so that we are free. We are open to receive. We are then actually looking at the reality that when we sit and when we open ourselves up, we can then receive that calm, that peace. All of the things. In fact, concentration is a part of mindfulness, but it has a distinct difference that at the end of it, you still have that peace that will take you beyond where you are. So, we ask then, what is the purpose of all of this? Sure, let's say, well, it reduces stress. But remember, we were speaking a moment ago about labeling things. And if we label something, for instance, this. I walk into a room, and whether it be lit or not, I see something, and before I'm able to identify it, I don't know what it is. Oh, it's a waste paper bin. The waste paper bin, the table, the chair, whatever it is, are just labels we use for remembering. They are not real. They are just labels we use for remembering, and they are not real. They are distinctly different from my taking action, the reality. The reality of doing as against the concept of thinking of something is fundamentally different. And with meditation, what one is seeking to do is to arrive at that space of knowing self, being self, arriving at a point where we're doing. Or in fact, we're moving from doing to being, I should say. We are all human doings at this time. You know how terrible that is? We spend our life doing things. We run from here to there. We're like chicken without heads. Doing. I said earlier about the ego. Because the ego is wrapped up in time. Oh my, I gotta go. Oh shoot. The ego is wrapped up in time. I have to do this by 2 o'clock. Oh no, I got to do it by... It's all the ego. And what does that get us? It gets us nothing. You know, the challenge is for all of us. We live in a world where, in fact, our awareness is all back to front. All of the things that we believe to be real are unreal, and all of the things that we believe to be unreal are real. Give me an example. What do you mean? I don't understand that. Well, let's put it this way. In the society in which we live, science is dominant. And science tells us that if I can't see it, it doesn't exist. If I can't see that water, it isn't there. So I ask a question. Can you see electricity? Is it not real? So how do we explain that? Well, and we go around attempting to find ways to talk it away. From an African-centered perspective, Al-Kibulan, we deal with spirit. Now, for the most part, even the Christians will acknowledge that they cannot see God in the physical. It's faith that takes us there. We have to believe in something we cannot see. So wait a minute, where does science come in? Oh, is that why science and religion have always had this little challenge? Because we come from a perspective that you don't have to see it to know it. I can feel it. It's within. I got a gut feeling. Because the gut is where I truly belong. The gut is where my true brain is. Oh sure, we think of this one. But here is a brain. And this brain gives us meaning for things. So, when we are thinking in terms that This table is real, and the name is real, and the this is real. Stop. Come back to self. Attempt to find self in all of that. And where would I be in all of that? In fact, that little gap between each thought, that's where I reside. That's where you reside. The gap between the thought. You don't know what your next thought is going to be until it comes forward. So where does it come from? What is it? You open your mouth and you speak and you don't know what you... I think I know what I'm going to say. But then, of course, I didn't mean to say that. Where did the thought come from? It's the gap between the thought. That is where I reside. And that's also where meditation is. Peace, centeredness, being. You see, our challenge in all of what we're doing is running in circles, attempting to be what others tell us that we ought to be. The truth is, how many of us are truly who we believe we're supposed to be? I mean, I come and say, you're this, you're going to be this, you're going to do that, you're going to... What do you understand by all of that? I am defining you, rather than you define yourself. I will do this because I think I'm going to please her, him. I don't do it because I know it to be coming from here. I do it because it'll please him, her. It'll be. And so we build up the stress. We build stress. We build dis-ease. You know, by doing meditation, you get rid of headaches. You get rid of tension. You get rid of, in fact, there's a whole list of different dis-eases which you simply get rid of by coming to self, because you're in the now. What I did 2 seconds ago is gone. I can't bring it back. What is to come, I have no control over it. Sure, I can, but all I have control over is this precise moment. This moment, the now. But we don't go there. Most of us avoid the now because it's too, well, why is it called the present if it wasn't the most important thing? I mean, we get gifts and we're told that the present is what we want. And so, here we are. So let me actually do this. The awareness that we may take a simple act of just saying to ourselves, breathing in, this is my in breath. Breathing out, this is my out breath. And just the thought of that, we can bring ourselves to a steady state. You know, what is fascinating about meditation for me is the simple reality that it's so simple. The fact that it is so basic. And yet, of course, people go and spend fortunes to find this one simple thing. It's all from within. It's not out there. You cannot find it anywhere out there. It's all within. And because it is within, you have total control over it. I will slow my breath. I will not get high blood pressure, hypertension. I will not get stressed because the boss says, He wants this thing in 2 minutes and it's impossible. I will not, because I am in control. So how do we do that? Meditation does not demand that you are sitting down. Meditation does not demand that you're laying down. In fact, walking meditation, when you go walking the dog, or the cat, whatever it is, you can meditate. When you go jogging, you can meditate. When you're sitting on the park bench, having your lunch, you can meditate. When you're actually doing anything, you can find the time to meditate. And yet, of course, we don't do it. I find I just hear certain kind of sounds, and I already start closing my eyes and going, my consciousness is there. Certain triggers, meditation. But how do we do it? How can we train ourselves to empty the mind? I've given you 3 or 4 different options already. In breath, out breath, this is my, I simply say, focus on the breath just about 3-4 inches from the nose. Just sit quietly, open your eyes, focus on that little breath. Feel it in your body. As you breathe in, your stomach expands. As you breathe out, it contracts. If you're pushing out, literally physically pushing your stomach out, pulling it in, you are basically taking action to learn to breathe properly, diaphragmatically. And so we go into the simple processes of what meditation truly is. As I said, I can't teach anyone to do this because you all do it already. I can facilitate it and guide you this way or that way to actually do it. Something I got here, actually, I was looking at, I got so much info, as I said, and we're going to do meditation I did last night. But before I do that, the Buddha distinguishes between conventional and ultimate truth. The former refers to the names and concepts by which we interpret our experience. Conventional truth is relative and conceptual. It changes from person to person, but ultimate truth is the same for all. It is true in the absolute sense. A name is a concept. It isn't ultimately real. It is only a convention we impose on something. Remembering the name of a thing, whether we are referring to a sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, feeling, or some other form, is not the same as directly experiencing it. Ultimate reality refers to the raw sense data of moment-to-moment experience. The actual instances of color, sound wave, tactile sensations, fragrance, and so on, that the brain continually registers. These sensations exist whether or not we think about them. They're there. I come into a spot and I say, oh, that smells like fish. Or that smells like, but it's always been there. All I've done is just come into it. And I give it a name because I want to remember it. Most cultures have a name for the phenomenon called thunder. In English, it is thunder. Brazilians say truno. The French, tonnerre. Although the name differs, the phenomenon doesn't. In fact, the event denotes that thunder is the same thing no matter what we call it. Truly speaking, it is impossible to hear thunder. Tell me I'm a liar. I heard the thunder yesterday. It went boom. It didn't. So what the heck did I hear? You did not hear thunder. Again, labels. What we actually hear is sound. Which we give a name to, depending on which culture we're in. I'm in Africa, I call it one thing. I'm in Europe, I call it another. I'm in America, I call it another. All we hear is sound. Although a particular sound can be called by many names, sound waves themselves have the same properties and follow the same physical laws in all cultures. Insight meditation is only concerned with ultimate reality, not conventional truth. Ultimate reality has two components, and that is, of course, what we call the name and the truth. Meditation and mindfulness practices are now actually being practiced in over 10,000 schools. I mentioned that earlier. Okay, so meditation and all of these things, what's real, what's not? What is real and what is not real?
And the name of my yoga is called Love and Light Code Yoga. And I apologize I came in a little bit late, but I know there has been reference to the glorious light meditation yoga, okay? That has been brought forward by Martha Ashley, but again, he is another beacon of light that has been chosen to share information of our ancestors, to raise us all to a higher level of existence, right? So the Kemetic yoga now is something that amplifies your divine light. Okay? You are all light beings. Alright? Now just like the brother said, the book is called The Hidden Messages in the Water. Okay? If anybody want to write that down, Hidden Messages in the Water, okay, by the Japanese brother. And it will show depictions of the water, right? And the microcrystal pictures of the water and its reaction to certain vibratory resonance. As in sound, as in negative connotation, as in positive elevation. You will see the molecular structure of the water transmutate. And all the patterns of the water in a positive reference, it's glowing emanations of light. And beautiful crystalline-like structures you wouldn't believe. Can I see a show of hands who's familiar with the book? Anybody? Okay, a couple of people. So you've seen the book, right?
Well, I have the DVD.
Right? So, Akhenaten was really focused on a moon, right? Or the Aten, okay? He was like, they called him the sun worshipper, but it wasn't really like that. Baba, Kofi,
Yeah.
you disconnect the internet already, right? Yeah?
I can bring it back if you want.
It's all good. I just wanted a depiction of the brother.
Okay, I can do that.
We can bring it back.
Yeah, if we could do that. So I will just continue to reason while you find a picture of Akhenaten, because it ties into everything we deal with meditation and light.
Yes.
Okay? Is everybody familiar with the pineal gland?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's that coded with?
The third eye.
It's coded with melanin. It is the third eye. Right? So we're going to see this depiction of this pharaoh, Akhenaten, right? Who dealt with the Aten. And when you see depictions of Akhenaten, you will see the sun disk, and you will see rays of light emanating from that disk. And Akhenaten, is it coming back to the eye?
Yeah.
Natural. You understand? Because all these things, we know them already, right? We just have to bring them back out to fruition.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're in there already, right? This is our birthright. You understand? So when we see Akhenaten now, we are going to see the beams of Language. And like the royal priest so rightly said, we are living in a culture that is our culture, but it's been perverted from our ancient teaching. Everything them take from China. You understand? They build every. Does Europe have any natural resources? Can anybody tell me?
No,
Anything over there?
they got caves over there.
You understand? And that's where they were. Okay. You understand? Right? So we know that. So not only from. What's that?
They have natural resources all over the world. They have natural resources in Europe, but they don't have enough to sustain and maintain themselves.
Right.
Meaning, exactly, right. But in a general sense, right? We don't see the wealth of resources that we see on the continent, right? As we see in Europe, which is a very cold climate and can be desolate and very rainy and these things. It's for a reason. Do you understand? Okay? Okay, can we get the depiction of Akhenaten with the beams of light? Okay,
you want the Aten? You want the Aten?
Yeah, the Aten
Okay.
and Akhenaten.
Okay. All right.
Okay, beautiful. Okay. So family, we're bringing all this together because, okay, that's the brother there. Yeah. And you can see the very distinct Nubian features, right? And he was known as the first pharaoh to depict himself with the very, very distinct Nubian features. Okay, with the big lips and the nose and the face. There we go. Okay. Now this is the Aten, so we can see the beams of light, right? There's a picture with Akhenaten sitting on his throne. You know the one me I talk.
I'll find it.
Okay.
Right now we're working.
It's all good. So you know what I mean. We let everything come at the right time. We don't force or rush anything because we are natural people. We move with nature, right? So just like we wait for the fruit to bear, we don't make any like hormones and all these things and steroids. And everybody see that. Can we clip the light real quick or no?
So I was trying to get it bigger, but that's
Yeah,
the.
good man. Family, you see it, family? Can we see the beams of light? And the other beams have almost like a hand on there, right? And where is the Ankh? Right above the brother's pineal gland. You see it? Okay? Beautiful. Okay? So I'm going to tie this all back in.
There, I just kind of made that to bigger for you. So you can see the Ankh right there.
So I'm going to use this ma'at because I'm going to talk about some of the more deeper metaphysical principles. Does that make sense, family? Right? Because when we are still, what does the word say? Be still. Okay. What does the word say? When thine eye is single, thy whole body is full of what? Light. Okay, so this is ancient teachings, right? Okay. So again, ma'at, where else do we see ma'at in the world right now? Think of a personage that's very famous, that's out there in the world. Everybody familiar with Rihanna? Biggest superstar in the world right now, right?
You can say that.
I personally think, and I don't watch TV, I don't listen to radio, so I'm kind of like a hermit in my own little thing, you understand? But as far as I know, she has overtaken Beyonce. Would anybody agree with that? Is Rihanna on top right now? I've got a Beyonce fan right here.
What are you talking about, man?
It's all good.
You want Akhenaten, don't you?
I want on.
Okay, not the Ankh. Okay. Sorry, I brought them.
Well, you can see the picture, the waters of noon, if anybody deal with the comedic science, I don't want to go. You dig? You understand? So, yes, the king.
Okay. Don't I remember, grew up in New York City years ago in the 70s. We as black people, especially women run things. In those days, women was black, as James Brown said, black and proud, black and proud. And women today changed that. You look at women today, they don't have the you look at television to see. Black women that never have hair all the way down to the chest. You see that? That's the way we are today. So we don't, if you preach about the blackness, the black women putting us down. They would not wait because the sister have a hair and this other sister. Today black women don't do that. Today kill it. The long hair on the shoulder. That's not right. So we're not black and proud anymore. That's what they're saying.
And you know
Agreed.
what, King? This is the death culture. And I'm going to bring it right back to the anatomical makeup of those who promote the death culture.
Yeah, right. All black official women today.
You see, and we have been removed so far from ourselves and who we are. It's time to recognize. And what is so funny is they doing everything to be us, and we doing everything to be them.
You're right.
They getting Botox to have things that they don't have. Stuff in the lips, tanning salons. You understand? You see, and watch your man. I was born in Jamaica. I'm a Trinidadian or a Jam Daddy. If anybody know what that means my daddy is Trini and my mother is Jamaican. Okay, my mother was actually born in Africa. She was actually born in Zaire, which is now the Belgian colony. And I was manifested on this earth plane in Kingston, and I don't take that for granted all the time. But in my own country, the women are bleaching their skin. It make you want to cry, stuff. It make you want to cry. Just because the passion and your love you have for your people, and you see them led so far astray. You understand? But this is the thing. You have...
Black brother.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. They with a black brother right now, and they feel well, he don't have enough for them. So they move on, live with black brother, and move on to someplace else. What I don't like, they come on television and talk about single mom. I hate to hear this single, but they walk with the brother. And for the brother, and intelligent, for them. In these days, what I'm saying is not 2000, whatever it is. So the black women killing the system.
That's the way they
And I feel where you're coming from, but I would say that that's systematic. So I wouldn't like put it all on the black woman. You know what I'm saying? Because when you overstand it, and
we're not doing that.
yeah, we could say the same about men too. You know what I'm saying?
But watch them out. We can't put it all on anything. We have to love those who are lost and educate them and teach them. We can't blame them. We don't know the hells and the torment that they've endured to make them who they are.
Exactly.
We cannot judge. Judge not, lest I be judged. You understand? So we can't do that. We have to have the highest levels of compassion and love for our people to elevate them and see where they digress and say, no, you know what? That's not the way to do it. And that's all we can do. And if they don't do that, then many are called and few are chosen. Yes, Royal Priest.
It's about responsibility.
That's
because
it.
once you have been enlightened, once you have raised your awareness, however you want to define it, or whatever terminology you want to give to it, whether your third eye has been opened, whatever, you are now endowed with a responsibility to share, uplift, and empower your brothers and sisters. That is what it's about, responsibility. If you have come into the knowledge of self, then it is your responsibility to disseminate such information.
They have us eating the fries. That's why they have us killing each other. That's why they have us drowning our sorrows in herb and cocaine and liquor. Because we are not in a stasis to receive. Does that make sense?
Yep, that makes perfect sense.
Then that's it. But the brother said, he even said there's a lot of single moms. We have never been a single anything as a people. Anybody know what the word Ubuntu means?
I am because we are.
We never had no single, nobody, no time. You understand? So again, you have a people who from their biochemical makeup, their anatomy, right? They lack an element that connects them to nature. See? So without that internal, original connection, they want to control instead of be harmonious. We've been here for countless millennia. We ever make something to break down the ozone layer? We ever make something to melt some glacier or something like that? Tell me. No. How many millennia we've been on the planet, Rasta?
We are not about
several millennia and we ain't done it.
Why? Because Ubuntu. Because we are one with nature, the stars, everything. We look at it, we see it as a reflection of us and the Most High. So we cultivate. We don't destroy. Okay? But unfortunately, that has been lost. So what we're going to do, because again, we can go all over with this, and I want to try and harmonize it with meditation and how crucial that is to get where we need to get as a people. And like the brother said, and if you watch Spider-Man, with great power comes
Responsibility.
there it is, right? So we're not teachers, we share. Okay? Beautiful. We're going to say something more, please? About people?
I would just want to give thanks for the people that come here. I'd like to give thanks to Priest Dada that created this forum here on Arley. And we really have to continue doing this work because as you get the wisdom, as he alluded to earlier, we have to be responsible and set up these different dates and times to have these forums, to have these seminars and workshops, so we can continue to do this work and attract a variety of people to come and do this work. Because as I was coming here, there was a beautiful young sister, like 5 or 6 years old, and she stopped and she started to just enjoy the plants. And there was the grandmother with all the books in her hand, said like, "You better come over here and get in this car." And then when I'm here now, and Ricky is showing Technican, and he's talking about us hugging the children and loving them and kissing them. So this pattern is that I'm seeing women and children in stores, in different places, and they're always shouting at their children, they're always screaming at their children. I rarely see a parent saying something beautiful to a child. They're constantly shouting and screaming at children. I don't know if you all see those patterns, but in stores we have a, "Don't touch it, don't do that." And it's like, I realize that we are living in a time that if we do not start to get this information that Brother Ricky, Brother Tarcher, Brother Priest Dada is sharing with us and bring our children and start to break those patterns. Because we constantly being programmed. It was mentioned a little while ago that subliminally, we are constantly being conditioned even when we're sleeping. If it's not the TV, whatever it is that we're doing, we constantly condition our minds because the subconscious mind is constantly programmed. So when we get really more, we're doing jingle bells. And this is why we go to McDonald's or Burger King or Dunkin' Donuts, and we're getting dumped with that coffee, whatever else is happening to us. So we ought to sing. So my turn is coming to say something to you because this is a beautiful time for us to be here. And I want you all to seriously start to appreciate Priest Dada and the work he's doing. And you got to fill up this place here. Because we got 100 million in Brazil. We got 60, 70 million here. And I don't see them in the parks. I don't see them at yoga and the beach in the morning. They're home looking at television or going and pray to Jesus. I mean, like, you can pray to Jesus if you want to, but you got to get some results. 50-something years of emancipation.
That's real.
We ain't getting enough results. So what I would like for us to focus on here tonight, when the brothers finish with this meditation, is never think lacking anymore. True. Never think broke. Never think sick. You got to break the pattern.
And everyone, yes, I should. And there are many different definitions to wealth, right? Because I feel like I'm trillionaire. Understand? And I can't pay my bills.
Hey!
But I am the richest man.
You got it!
No, serious.
I tell people that all the time, man.
You understand? Okay? So it's all about your mental amplitude, and this is why we're talking about meditation. And like Baba Pearson says, we have to each one teach one. We have to Ubuntu. And these are things that are familiar with us, right? From an inner being, in a sense. You know what I mean? So we're all here, and you say, well, it's a couple of us here, but you know, we all have a duty now and responsibility. This is a divine circle. Okay? Like I said, don't take it for granted. You have been divinely ordained by the Most High to be plucked out of the sewage. You understand? What did I say? We're saturated in a death culture. Saturated. That's why when I see these women like Baba Pearson saying, and my brothers, and you know, I know a lot of people that do a lot of things, stuff. You understand? I don't blame them, I don't judge them. Now let me ask you something. Anybody see The Matrix, the movie The Matrix? Let me show of hands, come on.
Whoa!
Energy. Show of hands. You see The Matrix? I'm on personal, is like one of the best movies ever made.
Shame.
And who wrote it? Some black women.
Yep.
And what happened to the white boy them with teeth in? Them turned Batman and... You understand? So the Most High is just. You dig? Right? Beautiful. So, if you remember, one of my favorites, the whole movie is my favorite scene, but one of the scenes in The Matrix, right? They in the ship, right? Okay? And who's the main dude in The Matrix? Neo. And what he wear? All black. Ain't that something? And he's the one. And he had to go to the Oracle, who was?
A black.
And who free him from the Matrix?
Black man.
Who free him?
A black man.
Black man. What was his name?
Morpheus.
What? Say that first part.
More.
The translation of
The Moors. Morph, transmutation, and the Moors. Who are the Moors? Come on, people. Moors.
The black people. The black people. They
Come on, man.
they came out of Spain, right?
They know what's going on. You understand? You dig it? Okay. So one of my favorite scenes, and that whole movie is a favorite scene, like I said. To your true divine potential, why you were manifested here in the first place? No. You understand? So we have to change the live family, okay? But you can do it slowly. If you're eating meat now, chicken, fish, then cut out the meat first. That's what I did.
Yep.
I saw Malcolm X when I was a teenager. I said, man, I ain't never eating bacon again. You know what I mean? Denzel had me just, you know? I saw Fight the Power. We was ready to, boy, we came out that theater. You understand? Or not Fight the Power. Do the right thing.
do the right thing.
Okay?
Oh.
You understand? But this was the Most High picking me up from an early age. You know, I always had an affinity to God. You know, even asking my mother questions before I was even 10. You understand? Like, if people never heard about Jesus in some island, they going to hell? That don't compute.
Real talk.
Okay?
That's a good
So
question.
why am I saying this? Because we are also divided in spiritual classes. I'm a Rasta man. I don't deal with no Muslim. And Muslim people them blow up themselves, them crazy. You understand? Or I am a Christian. You understand? I don't deal with dirty Rasta man. And my people from Jamaica, so don't think it was easy for me. You know?
Not just Jamaica, throughout the
Anywhere.
whole Caribbean, the neo-colonial British mindset
Right.
is to be Christian, blah, blah, blah. And when they did, trust me,
They're
from Jamaica go all the way down
Don't
to
forget
Trinidad,
San
it's
Domingo.
the same British colonial meditation.
And-
Only of recently, Rastaman getting elevated. Trust me.
That's right. And any of us from the Caribbean can attest to that. Right? And look at how sick this is. The Rastaman is just resonating pure love. Not only that, he resonates Africa. And they look at, they black skin like you. They're looking at the culture and they're disgusted with it because of the conditioning. I started growing my locks almost 20 years now ago, right? You know, when I first cut my first natty, with the full intention to grow it right back, my people and my parents threw a party. Invite auntie this and uncle that. I walk in, I see everybody in the house. Oh, you cut your locks in this. I said, boy, y'all don't even know what's coming.
Brady.
No, but this is sick. This is sick. Yes, priest Dada.
Brady, serious thing, I mean, we here discussing and
Give yourself a round of applause and give yourself a hug and kiss and thank yourself for being here also. You're truly awesome and you are divine and we all on purpose and this session was truly an awesome session and it was dealing with the spirit more than the physical. But we still have to accept the reality that we live in a physical body and it needs to be taken care of also. So whatever happens on a daily basis, whatever you think on a daily basis, affects your physical body. Yes, your thoughts actually affects your body. Your emotions affects your body. All the organs and glandular systems within your body is affected by your thoughts. This is going to take some time to process. If you do not already know these things, you should look into it. And think about how your body feels. When you have a negative energy, something happens that is negative, you get upset, you get angry. By the way, you don't want to go to bed angry. If you ever get angry or you're upset over something, do not go to bed with it at night. It's very crucial
That's all right.
that you not do that. And so I asked everyone to have one of these here. This is my information. And this is a new dispensation, a new season. This is coming into the fall, the autumn. And so there's a connectedness also in the different parts of the globe where we live in. The climatic conditions affects our organ and glandular system. It affects our emotions and things like that. And so these are the things that we should become more cognizant of and get more in tune with. And so when the season is changing, we know that things is going to be happening that we're not quite aware of, but we should get in tune with that and be aware of it. But for instance, right now, we have to deal with the autumn and the fall, and the leaves are going to be changing. Things are becoming suppressed. Nature is going to be unfolding in a way that where you're going to start have to hibernate. You're going to want to start doing things that is more in an organized planning form for the new season, because the spring is going to be coming again. This is happening all the time. So our body goes through these changes also. This time it's connected to the lungs. And so we know the winter is coming, and there's a lot of contraction coming, because we all know from the history of building bridges and building buildings and building roads, they had to create space for expansion and for contraction. And so this is happening to our bodies also. So the large intestine is also connected to this time, and because you get into a state of contraction, what you have to do is clean out. And so on the farm, I actually made the bitters to bring it here for y'all, but I left it at the house. So you have my name and you have my number. You can come and collect the bitters. I'm emphasizing even the young people, y'all should be acclimating and acclimatizing yourself, your mind and your body to the taste of bitter. It's not nasty, it's just bitter. The body have all these different dosages. There's sweet, there's sour, there's astringent, there's salt, there's bitter. It's a reality. Do not deny yourself that. To the kitchen table, to your stomach. And it has all the natural properties, the enzymes and everything, all the natural phytochemicals, the vitamins inside of it. Nothing that I do, no one that consumes the things that I do would ever get sick. You would never get sick. But you have to know this, because I'm doing it for 30 years right now. My last 3 children from birth to graduating from high school was never out of school one day. They never had a cold, a fever, or a flu one day. One day my daughter come home from school with a fever, and my wife wanted her to go to the hospital, take her to the hospital, to the emergency room. But I said no, so we do what we had to do. We get some red onion and yellow onion, put it in the sole of her feet and put on the socks. And then we get the different mixtures of peppermint and eucalyptus and this shea butter, or we just might buy some Vicks. You can still use that. And then you can rub it the chest. Then we put together, we call a flu shot, which is garlic, ginger, turmeric, cayenne pepper, and lemon or lime, and blend it all up. And we give that to her to drink. But you can do the same thing right now for yourself. You don't have to wait until the winter comes to start doing that, because you prepare yourself so when the time comes you are prepared. So you can say, I catch a cold or I catch a fever. You can't catch none of those things. Your defense system, your immune system is shot. The foods you're eating don't have nutritional value for your temple, and then you feel weak about yourself. Then you go to Winn-Dixie or Publix or CVS or Walgreens and you buy some over-the-counter drugs. That is not really going to help you, because you can keep saying you're catching a cold all the time. You can't catch a cold. You can't catch a fever. It's your temple is imbalanced, so you have to create balance back into your system. So everything that happened here today, we ended up with a physical aspect of it. So what I've done, I brought some stuff there for you all to sample it, and you can come and look at the table. We have about another half hour. And so if you want to purchase some of the stuff, you can do that. If you want to get my bitters, I'm definitely insisting that everybody drink bitters right now for the next 3 months. But you don't have to drink it every day. The younger persons, the youngest person here is yourself, right? So you're about 12?
13.
13, that's pretty close. You can do like a tablespoon, or sometimes on the strongs the weekend, you can do like an ounce. For the grown-ups, you can do anywhere from 2 ounces to 4 ounces twice a day. But it's imperative that we start drinking bitters, because the bitters would wash out all the parasites, the worms, the radiation, emotions that linger in the large intestines. Emotions that linger in the large intestines, you don't know it, but you feel the pain. It's very sensitive. The stomach is very, very sensitive. And so your emotions affect your stomach all the time. So now, if you're going to go and eat some food somebody prepared wherever, and they had some issues, and those foods now that they prepared and they're serving, you don't know that they had some issues before they leave the home or on the highway, and they go to work at these restaurants and these places. Even if the food is already prepared, but they're handling the food, the energy is going into the food. They're talking about meditation. So that clears those pathways. So if you have those issues and you have to go home and fix food for people, you want to clear those pathways. You don't want to go home and fix food for people with a negative energy, because it's going to go into the food. And then the child says, "Mommy, my stomach hurting me." And she don't know why her stomach is hurting her, because you put the energy in the food, not you personally. And so what happens is that these are the things that we have to think about. We just can't take getting up and going to work and going to school and getting back home and making these things patterns and rituals in our life that is not making us happy, not bringing joy to us, not bringing prosperity to us. But we're just looking outwardly with the bling bling. But that's good. It's good to look nice, because I feel I'm looking nice right now, right?